Okay, so Black Friday is coming up soon, and that means that it's a good time to buy video games because, they're cheaper. And many people are probably wondering if Black Ops 4 is worth buying because it's new and it might be worth it. So I'll be taking a look at the 4 modes, the specialist missions, multiplayer, Blackout, and zombies to see if it's worth the $60 or less than it might be sold for. Is it worth it? And then I decided to just skip my intro because I figured it was taking too long, so I just want to start to get into the videos right away, and that's what I'm going to do now, so let's just go ahead and jump into it. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about the specialist missions, or the specialist headquarters. This is the half-made campaign in Black Ops 4, and it was worked on for a year, but then scrapped. And it tells the story of the 10 specialists and how they came together and met each other and their backstories. And it does this through tutorials, cutscenes, and skirmishes. And I completed 100% of it because I just really wanted to finish it, and I was addicted to it once I started. And it's getting less attention than it deserves, I think. I think it's better than most people are giving it credit for. So when you jump into one, first you get a cutscene explaining the specialist powers, and this is useful for new players because it'll explain to them how to use them, and it's useful for returning players because most of them have been changed from the last game. And this also has a good animation, so it's pretty cool. And also through this Woods, Frank Woods from Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 is commentating it, and I never played those games, but I've heard that it's weird to hear him, so just keep that in mind. I thought it was entertaining. And then you do a skirmish, a tutorial explaining the specialist powers, and this is again good to learn how to use them. And then after that is another cutscene explaining the characters' backstories, and I like this part the most because each cutscene is unique to each character, and it gives them a backstory and motivation, so it's a big step up for Black Ops 3, because now they feel like actual people, and you can relate to them. And after that is one last skirmish that is you just against bots, and this is not only to let you use the specialists more and learn about them, but also lets you get used to a certain game mode. So, like, for example, one of them might be teaching you about team domination, and this is just a fun way to, like, warm up for the rest of the game. And, again, it's fun, but it gets repetitive because you have to do it 30 times to get 100%. I still did it, though. It doesn't take that long, but it's certainly, like, a little repetitive. And then after that is one last cutscene explaining the story. And the story is the weakest part of this, because it's not really flushed out well, because you only ever hear about it in the cutscenes. And if they would have had more time to develop the story more, I think it would have been great. But as it is, there's not much that we're given, so you don't really know much about the universe here. I think it would have been really cool, but again, it wasn't that great. It's still a pretty good basic story. So in overall, this special missions were a great experience to learn about the specialist, get a pretty good story, and learn about the specialist backstories, so I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now let's talk about multiplayer. So, if you're going to do multiplayer, I recommend that first you play the specialist missions, because it gives you an understanding about the specialists, how to use them, and it gives you a connection to them. So, I recommend you play those first, because then you'll be better at the multiplayer also. And in this multiplayer, it's boots on the ground, meaning that there's no wall runs or like double jumps, and that's different from Black Ops 3, but it still works well, and it still has fluid movement. Also, Ruin's grapple gun is really cool. It's fun to use, but it's not as good as the grapple gun from Titanfall 2. Like, Titanfall 2, I think, has the perfect movement system. It's you can move so smoothly, so quickly, and I love it there. It's still pretty good here. The grapple gun is still fun. Anyways, there's a large variety of balanced weapons, and they can all be leveled up to earn attachments, and that's a pretty good incentive. And there's a bunch of different attachments that allow you to customize your guns however you want, so you can, like, play however you want. And also, there's an operator mod that was newly added, and this is basically, like, about half the guns have an operator mod that's unique to them, and it can only be gotten on that gun. It takes up 2 slots instead of 1, but these operator mods are really good. Please nerf the SG-12 shotgun. It's so annoying. So, overall, in the gun customization, there's a bunch of different options, and it could change up your playstyles. Also, there's a bunch of camos. There's like 14 different camos for every gun, and so you can make it look however you want. And I really like the dark matter from this year, and dark matter is earned by getting gold on all weapons, and gold is unlocked by getting all the camo, so it takes a long time. It takes a really long time. But once you have it, I imagine that it's really cool to be like, I have the rarest camo in the game, at least for now, until they release some stupid black market stuff. Anyways, it's like red. It looks like the Siva gun from Destiny 1, if you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, there's also the class systems, just like in previous COD games, and you can pick like your perks, your grenade, your specialist, obviously, and that has a lot of different playstyles. And then there's some pretty decent maps. There's 14 maps on launch, and Nuketown got added. And of the 14 maps, my favorite is Icebreaker, and that is like a Arctic map with snow, and it has a submarine in the middle. And I love this map because it is an amazing setting, you know, which is super cool. And also it has like long and close combat areas, like there's long quarters or long areas, and there's close quarters. And I love having that a large variety. Again, it has a really cool setting. And there's the water in the middle, and the water is really well integrated because you can use it in a bunch of ways except for like just hiding in it. So again, I love that map. It flows really well. That's my favorite map. All the other ones are pretty good. No real stands out, but it's a good set of maps. And Nuketown got added recently, and it's the same as the past Nuketown, same layout, but this time it's like a snowy Russian theme. And I think this is really cool because it's more close quarters, and it spices up the gameplay. I mean, you know, Nuketown is really fun. It's the most iconic map in multiplayer, I think, and it's a great map. Also in this game, healing is now manual instead of automatic, and I love this because it makes new playstyles. Like, you can either choose to reload first or to heal first. So, also gunfights last longer because of that, because you can actually heal in between. And also, there's a higher time to kill, which means that gunfights last longer again. So overall, you're getting a larger variety of fight. It's not like just instant kills like in the past games. And so overall, this multiplayer is really fun. Has decent maps and a lot of customization, but it's just not as addicting or as fun as the past COD multiplayer. So I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now let's talk about Blackout. Blackout is Call of Duty's first attempt at a battle royale, and was picked up when the campaign was dropped. Simply put, Blackout is fun with or without friends. It has some great vehicles, and it has a unique map. So the looting system has a bunch of different stuff like guns, attachments, perks, healing, armor, ammo, and equipment. And you can hold 2 weapons, but you still have a lot of inventory space. And there's a ton of customization. So on your guns, you have a bunch of different attachments, and you can this really changes how they're used. So you can customize them however you want, like you want for close range or long range, whatever. And this makes a bunch of new playstyles. And also you can move while healing again, and this is great, again, because you have more different ways to play. Like, you can try to escape while healing, or you can just heal and crouch down. And the map is really unique. It's larger than most battle royales, and it has smaller sections incorporated from past multiplayer and zombies maps. So, like, for example, Verrückt and Firing Range are in it. So, like, if you visit those areas, then you feel familiar with them, so you know the map well. And also, there's zombies in Blackout, and they actually work really well because they spawn in only certain areas. So if you don't want zombies, just don't go to those areas. And they add many new playstyles, like aggressive, going for zombies, being passive. And there's lots of tall buildings, but you can redeploy your wingsuit, and this works well because, you know, it's a fun way to hop off, but it's still risky because then you're out in the open once you get down. So the vehicles are absolutely amazing. There's 4 vehicles. There's a large truck, like a little like 4-wheel little 4-wheeler, a helicopter, and a boat. And these are all really polished. They just have good controls, and they're fun with friends, and they're a great way to get around the map quickly. And the skins. There's currently about 30 skins, and only one of them is purchasable. So these are all earned through skill or time played, and this provides another objective besides winning, because like in other games, you could be the best player in the world, but not have any skins because you don't want to spend money. But here, it's like if you're good at the game, you're gonna earn skins, and all these skins are really unique. And also, if you're using a certain skin, it'll show how you play. Because, like, for example, if you see Crash, they probably have a lot of healing items, because the how you earn crashes by winning a match with 15 healing items and finding this item. But anyways, looting in this game is pretty hard, and it's just hard to find weapons off the... No, it's hard to find attachments mainly, and it's hard to put them on your sword to weapons. And, like, often when you're looting an opponent, it can just result in a huge pile of stuff that's impossible to go through. But this does mean that there's more skill in it. Like, if you drop one, you can either just go for guns, or you can take the time to put in attachments and use perks. And anyways, perks are a new system in a Battle Royale, and there's a huge variety of them that have a bunch of new playstyles, and they're, like, a consumable that gives you a temporary buff. And so, for example, the Outlander perk is better for the Storm, so if you find that, you might want to go in the Storm. And Brawler is better for melee, so that's better for close range. And this encourages you to try new gameplay styles. So overall, it's a fun Battle Royale with great characters, unlocked systems, new playstyles, and good vehicles. 9 out of 10 would play again. I think it's time we talk about zombies. I have mixed thoughts about zombies. I mean, on one side it has 4 maps, an amazing class system, and fun Easter eggs, except for Blood of the Dead, I'm looking at you. But it has so many crashes, the in-game currency is way too expensive, and high runs are impossible. But we should talk about the good first, you know. So there's a new class system. In this you can change your perks, starting weapon, special weapon, elixir, and equipment, and this has only been done before in COD World War II Zombies. But this is a great system, and it has a bunch of customization, and so you can, like, change your starting weapon for a different map, or you can spice up how you play, and the equipment, or your grenade, is an amazing system, because there's 5 different grenades, and all of them inspire new gameplay styles. So, like, the Sentry is good for camping, and if you use a different one, the match will play out differently, and I love just trying out each one, and I think that's a great system, is all the grenades. I think they should add more. That'd be really cool. And also, there's 14 perks in this game, more than ever, and these are all really unique. So, like in the past games, you would always be running Quick Revive, Jug, and Speed Cola, but now, there's so many different loadouts for this. There's, like, so many different ways that you can play the game with these perks, and there's just so much customization. Like, if you're a camper, there's perks for that. If you like to use your shield a lot, there's perks for that. I love the system. And also, in your class, you can change your specialist weapon, and there's 4 of these, or there's 8, but 4 in each story, and all of them are pretty balanced, and they're fun, and this is, like, another way to fight, so if you run out of ammo, you can use them. And now let's talk about the elixirs. So the elixirs are a toned-down version of Goblet Guns from Black Ops 3. They're easier to use, you can use them anytime, and this means that you don't have to rely on them for a machine, so it's less luck. But they got nerfed. So one example of that is Immolation Liquidation, which used to drop 3 fire sales, now drops only 1. So it's I mean, it's still useful, but it's like more often, but not as good. So it makes sense. But the currency is Nebulium Plasma, and it is not only more boring than Liquid Divinium, but it's earned way slower. Like, you just earn way too little to make it worth it. It takes so long to earn plasma, and then you probably will end up getting bad elixirs. So, also, there's a new edition called Talismans, and those are earned alongside elixirs that are like a little perk, if you will, for the entire game. It lasts for 1 game, but you can only use it 1 time, and it'll give you a buff, like starting the weapon with an AR, for example. And these are pretty good, but they're so hard to earn, and it's like, I haven't used a single elixir or a talisman this entire game, because I just want to save them, because they're so hard to earn. Like, it takes 4 hours to earn 1 plasma spin, and this results in, again, you having less of them. So it's a good system, but horrible pricing. So if one thing should be changed besides crashes, it's this system. So the rest of the class system is good. Others camos and leveling up, you know, and prestiging is fun. I just prestiged. It was totally worth it. And also, the menu is amazing. Like, in your menu, it's just fun to just sit in there and look at your classes and look at your guns, look at your attachments and camos. So it's just fun to look at the menu, and it's really appealing. I don't even know. So far so good, but now we have to talk about the 4 maps. Okay, so there's 3 free maps with zombies, and I think we should start with the worst, because that seems fitting. Build our way up. And that's going to be Blood of the Dead. Now, Blood of the Dead, the trailer for it released 2 days before the game came out, and when watching it, I was so hyped up. I was so excited for this game. I was like, it's gonna be so good. And again, it was the most hyped up map, but it was a little disappointing because it was inspired by Mob of the Dead, one of the best maps ever, but it couldn't live up to that hype. So it's a great design, and there's like lava on the map, and that really pops and adds to the map. And there's also the catwalk which you cross, and I love this adrenaline surge of you crossing into the prison and meeting the warden, and it's almost scary. It's difficult, but it's now like a trademark of this map. And the docks and the warden's house fit well, except for the docks. We'll talk about that later, though. And I love the warden's house being like a central hub for the Easter egg, and seeing him before his transformation. And there's a good flow until the main prison, and also when you enter the prison, I like the music change, and you get a character quote. But the second route to power takes too long. So going down the winding tunnels and stuff, that takes way too long. It takes like, there's like 3 doors down there. It's like kind of like a boring area. It doesn't look like the rest of the map. It looks kind of boring. And later games, when you have to go down to the docks for whatever reason, it's so annoying because it'll take you like 5 minutes just to go down and up. And when you're collecting skulls, it's so annoying, so I hate that route. Please add another fast travel, like just taking you down there. But the map in general takes too long to traverse, I think. But there's a lot of buildables, and all the buildables are all really good because there's so many things to do. And like, you have your shield upgrade, all your blundergats, the spoon, the spork, the redeemer, for your monkey monsters. There's so many things to do. So even if you have like 4 players, then you could still have something for everyone to do. And where am I? Yes. So I've never played Mob of the Dead, but I heard that dogs on it and premise are different, and I heard that like Mob was better because of the feel that it had. So Blood tried something different, and it didn't really work. I know that some people like it, but I personally don't really that much. But the Easter egg, oh, what a mess! It could have honored the spirits of the Sal, Al, and the crew, you know, and other ghosts in the prison, but it didn't. Like, really, only one step did, and I'm really disappointed because like the Morse code steps and the Simon Says steps are really bad steps, and I don't think that we should have those in 2018. Like, zombies Easter eggs should be better than that. But once the warden locks you up, it gets good, because then it's actually unique. Like a stealth mission, the boss fight is great, and the cutscene is heart-wrenching and amazing. So it's a good map, or it's a decent map, with the bad Easter egg. But it had so much potential to be like the best map ever, or one of the best ever, being a sequel to one of the best maps ever, Mob of the Dead. And I probably won't do a ranking video, because this is basically going to be ranking them anyways. So, Voyage time. Voyage of Despair is a fun and challenging map, and the Titanic setting is great, and it has such a variety, because like you have the luxurious suites, the cold cargo holds, and the engine of the room, and it's like as you're traveling around the map, it really pulls you in because there's such a variety of places, and it feels like you're actually in the boat. And the fast travel works pretty well, but it seems kind of random sometimes. But after a while, you can learn where you're going. And there's also large and small spaces, so you can like choose to be in a small spot or a large spot. And there's enough buildables, but not as much as Blood. Like Blood had like probably like 8 different quests, but Voyage only has like 3 or 4. The Kraken. Oh my god. I love this thing. It looks amazing, especially with the ice upgrade. The ice upgrade is my favorite looking weapon of all time. It feels so good. It sounds amazing. The whole Kraken is one of the best wonder weapons ever. At least just by appearance. So, the Kraken also has 4 good upgrades, which are all balanced and worth it. And I love the shield upgrade. Like, fireworks and flying cars, seriously, what more do you want? The map flows really well. First, you start at the front of the boat, and then you have to make your way through the main sections of the boat where people would sleep and stuff. You see the bedrooms, and then you go to the back of the boat, reach the artifact, and then once you start going to the lower section, you realize that like weird with the draining water and stuff, with the premium materia, and there's really a lot more than just meets the eye. But the Easter egg is average. It's okay. It would have been so much better if you would have, like, repaired the ship, or saved people, or went inside the iceberg, but instead you're just looking at clocks and planets, and like that was just disappointing. Even though it's a challenging egg, it's still not enough to save the fact that it's boring. So in conclusion, it's a fun map with a good setting and challenging gameplay. Okay, I don't unclassified, so I've never played it, but I still think that it's a good tribute to 5. It's a good setting, and it adds not much, but it still feels more polished. And the Witcher's Howl got the revamp that it always deserved, and playing as Ultimates again is refreshing. And the Pack-a-Punch camo is great. The Easter egg is to get to round 150, as most of you probably know, and it's a nice twist, and it's good for high rounders because they also have like something to go for. But it's a real shame that it got leaked, because I think it would have been cool if that would been discovered by some random person. I think that this is the best remake / remaster ever, and I wish you could buy it for $5 like the Giant in Black Ops 3, because I would totally buy it. But overall, it's a great map with 3 levels, and all those 3 levels are unique, and going to group like to Pack-a-Punch is really cool, and whoever thought of that deserves a raise. So now let's talk about 9, which is my second favorite map ever. And this is an amazing map. It has such good scenery, it has amazing bosses, and it has an amazing Easter egg. So first you spawn into darkness, and then you walk out and see the chanting crowd, these drums, music, and the crowd affinity sets the mood of like you're in a gladiatorial arena fighting for your life. The scenery is so good, it just looks amazing. And there's also the 4 god towers, which all fit really well because it makes sense. Like a Roman Colosseum, of course there would be gods there. And then also the map flow is great, and I like how you start out with half the map blocked off, so you have to go one way, so you like flow from one side down to the underground area, and then back up to the Zeus and Odin towers, and it has a real direction. And the temple is an amazing room. Like, it's dark, it's small, but it shows so many secrets going on under there, and it's great, and it feels really spooky. And it just looks so good, and every single section of the map is so unique. Like, all the towers are unique, and this Pack-a-Punch is the best Pack-a-Punch presses ever. Like, it makes total sense. Just defeat the 4 champions of the 4 gods, and then you get it. It just makes sense. And a fun fact: Serket is the goddess of healing venomous bites, and in the Easter egg, she gives you a jug to use for the Death of Orion to get that, and that's a scorpion water weapon. So it's like the goddess of healings of venomous bites is giving you a scorpion gun, right? And it just makes sense. This is so much better than like filling up a box with souls. This is how one weapon should be done. A unique quest. And this one weapon is still unique after having so many electric weapons. It's still really cool. And the overall god theme is amazing, of the 4 gods and all the mythology. It handles it much better than Voyage. And the electric, fire, water, and poison zombies are all balanced and unique, but still challenging. And the tigers are great boss. I love them. They look better than dogs, and they're more intimidating, and I like them more because of that. And the 2 gladiators on this map are amazing. The axe guy and the blade guy. They both seem similar, but still have different abilities, so that they're both challenging in their own ways. And then combine them with tigers really makes the setting flow a lot better. It's like in a gladiatorial arena. Of course, there will be other gladiators there, so it really makes sense. The Blightfather. The Blightfather is he's so scary. Like, his footsteps and the noise he makes when he spawns in. I'm sorry for assuming this gender. So anyways, when it spawns in and when it makes footsteps, it's just so scary. And he's challenging, but not game-breaking, and I love that. And also, I'm gonna make an analogy here. The Panzer is the staple of the Ether storyline. He's like a very important boss, memorable. And then here, the Blightfather's out of the Chaos storyline. So the Chaos storyline is now like commonly known with the Blightfather. He's so popular. It's so popular that he even appeared in Blackout and multiplayer. And in this map, everything just makes sense, and so does the Easter egg. So basically, you have to do 4 rituals for the 4 gods, and then get a key to enter the boss fight, and then you do the boss fight. Giant elephants are great bosses, and they fit with the rest of the map. Like, on Voyage, the boss fight is a giant eye. Like, what the heck is that? But on 9, it's like, elephants. Elephants. Yeah, it makes sense, because you're in an arena. Of course there would be elephants with armor. And the boss arena is a big space, but it's still hard. but in the Dano step, you have to wait for a couple of rounds, so it gets boring, like waiting for fertilizer to set. But I get that it's to make sure that the Easter egg isn't rushed. And from the trailers of this map, I was most excited for it, and I kind of thought it would be ruined by being like aimed for beginners, but I was wrong, and I got a beautiful, fun, enchanting map with great bosses, the best Easter egg ever, and a great setting. So what's my final decision on zombies? It has more maps than ever, so a lot of content, a great class system, and some good mechanics. So I would give the zombies experience an 8.5 out of 10. It'll get better with DLCs, by the way. So should you buy Bo4? Well, it depends what type of player you are. There's like two main players, zombies and multiplayer. So zombies players play mostly zombies, and they probably watch zombies YouTubers. So if you watch zombies YouTubers and play a lot of zombies, then you're probably a zombies player, obviously. But then multiplayer players play mostly multiplayer, and they probably don't do much zombies. So if you're a zombies player, yes, because it has 3 maps for free, and compared to other games, that's 3 times much, obviously, because like Black Ops 3, you got 1 map. So if you're a zombies player, get it, because it's way more content. But if you're a multiplayer, it's not worth $60 because you're only getting like a multiplayer that isn't really as fun as the other ones. I mean, Blackout's great, but most battle royales are free, so it can't really compete. And also, there's no campaign. But if you could find it on Black Friday for less than $50, then yes, I would totally get it. So in conclusion, Black Ops 4 has 4 fun game modes, all of them enjoyable in their own ways, and it's good for new and returning fans. And I think this is the best COD game since like Black Ops 2 probably. And simply put, Black Ops 4 is what every game should be, fun. I spent so much time writing this script that it was 7 pages, and I had to totally rewrite it. So please leave a like. I mean, it's free. I'd really appreciate it if you could just leave a like on the video. I spent so long on it. And anyways, I'll make a video about how to unlock all the Blackout characters. And I don't know which one will come out first. Actually, probably this. Actually, I don't know. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.